Hi guys! Oh, camera's moved a little bit. Hang on. There we go. Oops. Stay. Hello, puppers. Have you come to say hello? Oh. Come on then, come say hello. Good boy. Oh, no. There we go. Hi, Heart. Fairy Knitter. Hello. Haven't seen you for a while. Just doing a quick update on One Book July. Can you believe we're on week 4? Week 4. Hi, Kate. Butterfly. I can't believe it's week 4. July's nearly over. The heck. Dawn, Pelican, hello. And the camera's on, and Maddie's eating her dinner. That's what the crunching noise is. Every single time. Hi, Sylvana. 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 That sounds better. Anyway. So, where am I up to? Last week, I used the Passion Planner in my digital planner. Well, first off, everything's still going fine. I'm just now, which is about 20 days later than I thought it would happen, I am just now thinking, I'm starting to miss the feel of paper. I mean, I miss the feel of my book. I always miss the feel of my book. I only have to put my book down for 10 minutes and I miss the feel of it. But I'm starting to miss the feel of paper. So that's not too bad. 20 days. It's pretty impressive. I've already made some decisions about what I'm going to be doing in August, which I'm going to do a wrap-up video for One Book July of, you know, just a quick breakdown of things I've learned, what I've come up with, all the usual stuff I do. In the meantime, the Passion Planner, I don't know why everybody raves about it. Seriously, the only thing it's got is a monthly review page, which admittedly is pretty good. The monthly review page is quite good, to the point where I've actually put it into my planner here. And I'm going to have a look at it for July. I have optimistically put it in for August as well. But, you know, the page is no different to what I've already been using. I don't like how small this is. I don't like having personal lists, work lists, and then there was a big space here, so I actually duplicated the personal and to-do work lists. Sorry, personal and work. So that I had one for this half of the week and one for this half of the week. But what I found was I wasn't looking at these because they weren't where I was expecting them to be. That could be, you know, just me only using the planner for a week. But, you know, if it takes you more than a week to get into a planner, in my book, you know, it's too much hassle. So I'm going back to my original setup. I, of course, copied over last week's. You can see it's half and half. I copied over last week's. I literally just highlighted it all and copied it over and moved it into the right places. So I can now delete this page because Passion Planner doesn't do it for me. This is much better for me. I can put in a block, and although I haven't done it on this, like for instance on this page, where it says replays and uploads, and I've got a big block for the whole of them this morning, I can, thank you for that, I can change that, and I can log in here which replays and uploads I want to do, or which replays and uploads I want to, oops, takes you a while to get used to writing. Let's try that again. There we go. I much prefer this approach where I simply, in my block of time, write a list of the ones that I want to do, mark it off as and when I've done them. I've done 3 today, that was the 3 that I wanted to get done, and then I know that I've done them. My 3 priority pieces at the top, I like to put in what my priorities are, so obviously my priorities for today were replays and uploads, which took up a hefty chunk of the day, as you can see. And then I also needed to do some printing and obviously a live session. No other notes for today. So that's how today's looking so far. Again, so my printing, accounts, PDF, it's partly done. Need to buy some more paper. One Book July, I'm doing that now. 1BJ update. Week 4. Whoops. I fixed that. Stop that happening. Whoops. So week 4's focus. So my planner focus is to just go back to what I originally started with and carry on using it as I was using it before, because I like this layout. It works for me. I like being able to really quickly change what I want. I like being able to have my planner on my phone, on my tablet. I can't get it on my computer, but I can export the page if I want to. I can print it out. I figured out printing from my tablet, so it works great. This is probably going to stay for August. In fact, I've already set up August and September. I really like this way of doing things. It works much better than my previous method of scribbling updates in one planner and then transferring over the stuff to my Moleskine. It's easier to just do it all on here, and because I can erase it and put new stuff in and erase it and swap it around and move it, you know, I can literally just grab that and say, no, I didn't get time to do that today, so I'm just going to move it to there. You know, it's so simple and so quick to use. I absolutely love it. Hi Sue, Mona, Risha, hiya. So, planner, working well, absolutely love it. Gonna try the Passion Planner overview for the month. That's the only thing from the Passion Planner that I found of any use at all. Other than that, I prefer this. Now, just now you saw when I highlighted, I ended up with a whole load of stuff highlighted. That's because the background that I'm using has stuff on top of it. To sort that out, what I did was I set up the background. I put in, it's easier to show you on here, I put in the colours at the top, the dots and all this, the lines to break it up, because this is originally one page, so one day. So I broke it up into 6 for Monday to Saturday. And then before I put anything on this page at all, I exported it, saved it to the photo album as a JPEG. Then I was able to come back in, add a blank page, and then change the background, which now means that I can do whatever I want on this page and the background stuff is not going to be affected, which is perfect. So all of this, you know, I can select anything on here and none of that is going to be affected because I'm drawing on top of it. so I can literally move my stuff around without worrying about the background. That's a huge improvement. That's going to make life a lot simpler. It takes a little while to set up. It took me about an hour to set up 2 months worth for August and September, but I figure, you know, an hour, that's probably less time than most people spend setting up their bullet journal for a month. So I'm not worried. I don't mind doing it manually. It's just a case of changing the dates and exporting it. Once you get a rhythm going, it's pretty simple. So literally setting up this. So for October, I will change the colour. October we'll have orange, obviously, and the fill. The first time I do that every day, I always get it wrong. Oh, that's not very orange. Come on, we want more orange than that. It's October, for heaven's sake. A bit orange. There we go, that's more like it. So that's September, that's October. Then I go in and change my labels. So this will be October. Oh, I missed the S. And then simply change the dates. So 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing very well because I've got the screen turned down so you can see what I'm doing and you still can't see what I'm doing. So there we go. 4, 5, 6, 7. Share to photo album, current page. Okay. Go to my blank page, which will be, that'll be for October. So that'll be for the page that the first page of the month. Paper, background, select from album, fit to paper, high resolution, load image. There she is. Load it up. Current page. Done. Back to your working document. Change the dates again. Export. Import new page. Simple as that. That's what I'm doing, and this means that I can now do whatever I want on this page without having that annoying thing that was happening here, where every time I selected something like this, oh, come on, today would be good, come on, hurry up, there we go, like this, it starts selecting whole chunks of lines and things, which obviously you don't want because then you're moving your structure around. So that's how I've done that. Like I say, once you get into the swing of it, it's very easy to do. It's very quick. It doesn't take any time at all. So that's the planner. My notes have not changed. My notes are still exactly the same. I've got my main notebook, which I've now figured out how to export notes from, exactly the same as before. Export to a picture, start a new note, import it as the background, and then you can add onto, you can draw over things instead of, you know, when you select things on the page, you can't do that. But everything else, this is just my dump notebook. So I've got notes from phone calls and, you know, my urban sketches list and my calendar for the month and some stuff that I'm saving up for and things like that. Exactly the same. And then my notes that I take in that notebook that are finished and ready to be exported as complete notes. That I basically treat that notebook as a stack of paper. And when I'm finished, I tear out the pages that go with that note and put them into a new note and file it away in my folders. So there's my note. Come on, a bit quicker. So there's my note with my things that I took. Got 2 pages on there. And so on. So that's working well. My sketchbook isn't working. You inspired me to try planning on the iPad, but it was a total fail. I can't get used to the fact that I have to carry my iPad everywhere. Yeah, that was the problem that Vicky had with it. I don't really understand how that's an issue when you would carry a planner anyway. I've also got a bit of lag on my screen, but there's no lag on my frames. So hopefully you can see me. Hang on, let me switch to the standby screen and come back again. I don't know what's happening. I seem to have a bit of lag on my front-facing camera. And I don't know why. There's nothing telling me that it's lagging. But it is lagging. I can see it's lagging. I don't have time to fix it right now. I'll have to hope that it picks up again in a minute. Yeah, I don't really understand that. I can't advise you on that because I carry my journal everywhere I go, and I'm sure most people carry a planner everywhere they go. So I don't really see why carrying an iPad instead would be a problem. Yeah, I am in slow-mo. Sorry if you haven't got to that bit yet. It's slow on my computer. I don't know what's happening because it's not showing me that there's any problems. And I don't have anything else open that could be causing lag. So there's nothing I can do to fix it. Sorry. We're just going to have to hope it picks up again. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't understand why carrying an iPad would be any different to carrying a planner or a... In fact, my tablet is way lighter than any of my planners or sketchbooks, so I can't help you with that, I'm afraid. But I know that Vicky had the same problem. She couldn't get used to digital either because she didn't like to be... It's picking up again now, great. She didn't like to be carrying her iPad because it was too heavy. I've seen the size of some of her planners. I cannot believe for 1 second that her iPad is heavier than her planners. But it's what's comfortable for you. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. I did find it a little bit strange to carry my tablet instead of my book around for a little while, but it only took me 2 days to get used to it. It's just picking up a different thing. It's like when you change planners and you change from like a A5 book to a personal filofax. You've changed planners. It feels a bit odd to be picking up that book for a couple of days. Now if you plan in pocket size, then yes, carrying a tablet might be... Yeah, you would need more like a large phone. What they call the phablets. You'd need a 5.5 or 6-inch phone to equivocate carrying a pocket-sized planner around with you. So that I can understand, yeah. If it's taking you up from this size planner to this size, then yes, that makes perfect sense. Most people don't plan in pocket size, you see. Whereas this is way too small for anybody to do anything on. But I really only make phone calls and record videos on this, so I usually carry my planner and my iPad with me, so now I just keep it to my iPad and my bag got less heavy. Yeah, that's exactly the same for me. What I found, let me carry on with what my updates, because this ties into what you're saying. So notes, absolutely fine. Planner, love it. I think I am a convert to digital planning. I really like it. I did say the other day I was going to try a calendar layout. It took me about an hour to realise that that was not going to work for me. What I need from a digital is a hybrid. I need a page that I can handwrite on, that I can see my own handwriting. As soon as I realised that every single app I tried was going to be either converting my writing to typewritten, which I struggle with because I'm dyslexic, or was just not going to work, like notes and tasks and things were on a different page and stuff like that, I straight away realised that it wasn't going to work. This is what I like about it, the fact that it is paperless paper planning. I am in effect paper planning, but in a paperless way. And that's why it works for me. Working on a calendar is just not going to cut it. So I've scrapped that idea. I also said I was going to look into exporting stuff. I have figured out how to do that. I've run out of paper at the moment, but as soon as I've finished here, I'm going to nip up and get a new box of paper, and I'm pretty sure I figured out how to export stuff from here onto my wireless printer. So I will update you on that on Friday. Scooby, leave it. Scooby. Scooby, leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Yes, you're a clever boy. Sketching. I did my first urban sketching session this week, where we went out and sketched a church. Not my first urban sketching session, my first one with the group. The first thing I noticed was I didn't have decision paralysis before I went. Normally, even though I know that most of the time I will draw in ballpoint pen and maybe add some colour later, I always have the same issue. When I'm packing my bag, I can't decide what notebook to use. I don't know whether to use a cartridge notebook or my journal or a watercolour notebook, because I might want to do watercolour later, but I haven't decided yet because I don't know what I'm drawing. So I don't know until I see it whether I know what I want to colour it with. So I just end up taking whatever is to hand. And then, of course, you have the issue of, well, if I want to use markers, I can't use ballpoint, so I've got to decide whether I'm going to want to use markers later. If I use ballpoint, I can use watercolour, but then I have to make sure it's on watercolour paper. It just gets really... You know what it's like when you're going out anywhere with your planner or your journal, and you're like, well, you know, what do I want to take with me? What am I going to need? Because I don't know until I get there. You know, you sit down in front of your subject. Any of you do urban sketching know that you sit down in front of your subject, then you decide what you're going to do, then you decide how you're going to do it. You don't decide in advance, oh, I'm going to work in pencil today, and then you get there and you're like, no, I wish I'd brought my pen. It happens to everybody, I know, it's not just me. But the beauty of this is that I have every size of paper, I have every ratio of paper, I have every texture of paper, I have every single pen, pencil, paint, scrubby brush, tortillon, eraser, everything I could ever possibly want right here. I didn't have to think about it. I just picked up my tablet. The most I had to think about was reminding myself to charge my tablet the night before to make sure it was fully charged. And I did forget to record the session because I'm just not used to doing it that way. Hi, Blythe. So yeah, I forgot to record the session, but it still went really well. And I've got something else I'm planning to do anyway, so that's okay. This is not the picture that I drew. I started off with a pencil sketch. I started off with a pencil sketch on grey paper. So that's what it originally looked like. Then I did a pen sketch over the top. And then I coloured it. I don't know what happened there. I think I resized the pen sketch. That's why it looks a little off. It didn't look like this. I didn't like the colouring that I did. So today I resized the pen sketch to get a bit more white space. I got rid of the grey paper and I recoloured it. Or I've started recolouring it, and I'm a lot happier with this. I need to play around more with my tools and things. I have figured out how to get a custom bar here. I have figured out how to organise the gallery. So if you're on my Patreon, that's one of the things we're going to look at this week, is if you're using Autodesk Sketchbook, how to organise your gallery so you can find stuff, because I discovered a whole load of things that you could do in the gallery that I didn't know you could do. And I found it because somebody I was watching did a Procreate tutorial on how to use the Procreate gallery, and I said, hang on a minute, that looks awfully similar to the Autodesk gallery. I wonder if they work the same way. And lo and behold, they do. So now, instead of having a big dump ground of loads of different pages in various different shapes and sizes of disrepair or completion or whatever, I now have stacks of different projects and folders and things, and it's all very organised, and I'm very happy with it. So this I enjoy. I really enjoyed just taking this with me and having no worries about, oh, well, what if I colour it and I don't like it when I've finished? Well, I can just hide that layer and do another layer of colouring. You know, it's not the end of the world. I think I might be a convert for digital sketching. Rob Sketcherman, of course, is over the moon because there's not many of us doing urban sketching digitally. A lot of people obviously are very traditional and like ink and watercolour, and those who do digital sketching don't really do it all the time. They like a bit of both. But for me, the freedom of just being able to, you know, unpack my tablet and immediately start sketching. I didn't start until about 40 minutes after everyone else, and I finished half an hour before anyone else, because I didn't have to set up. I didn't have to get my pens out. I didn't have to mess about with water. I didn't have to get comfortable. I just found somewhere to sit, and you know, had my little strap here that I use, and off I went, and I loved it. So I think I'm a convert for digital sketching and digital planning. What I'm not a convert for, and this comes back to Anna's comment earlier, I am not a convert for journaling. Who knew, considering that was what I was supposed to be trying this month. I like it, okay. You know, I'm not saying that I dislike it. I do like it, and I can see, like for this page that I did the other day, I can see uses for it. And I can see that I might, you know, I probably wouldn't do it in a book format like this. I would just do it straight into Autodesk as a page. Same as with... do I have any still in here? I've exported them all earlier. No, I haven't. I've exported them all into my photographs. But like, let's just use this one, for example. That's a work in progress. I haven't finished that one yet. So let's open it in Autodesk. this is one that I was working on the other day. I'm going to go back and finish it. I only had like literally seconds while I was passing by. But I can add a page to this. I can grab my pen in whatever size that I want. I like the 4. Maddie, please chill out. You're acting weird because you're too hot. Don't make me get the hosepipe out. She actually likes the hosepipe. But there's no reason why I can't, you know, on a new layer here, just, whoops. Let's get a pen. So I can, hi Mandy, I can literally write onto my sketches if I want to journal on my sketches, if I'm out and about. So I have the option of journaling if I want to. I don't need to have it in this book format that is so rigid. I also found that I didn't pick this up as often. And I don't really need to put my sketches into this book format because it makes it difficult to open and difficult to see. It's much easier to put it into one of these folders and just be able to go, you know, like this. And, you know, here's my sketches that I've been doing. And let people see it that way. It's much easier to look at it that way. So the journal itself for me is definitely out. My journaling technique and the way I... Sorry, I'm getting distracted because the guy upstairs has come home and I think he's on the phone. I can hear him talking. My journaling technique involves collecting bits and paper stuff. It's not about the sketching on paper. I like digital sketching. I really enjoy that. But for me, the journaling is about this. You know, this is my... I've got some gaps in here because I've still not written, because I've not been using it in July. I've not gone back and put anything in. But, you know, this is what it's about for me. Yes, I could have done this digitally. Yes, I probably would do this digitally in future. But this, you know, you can't do a tip-in on a tablet. You can't print out photos and have the touch and feel of the shiny photos against this vinyl stickers, against the, you know, the cut and paste where I put a picture down on a glossy magazine page, and then I printed out the words on sticker paper, and you can feel where the stickers are. You know, you can't do that with a tablet, and that is what I'm missing. The physical, you know, even like there's nothing quite so satisfying as pulling a bit of washi tape off the roll and tearing it. Yeah, you can put washi tape on your pages, simple as, you know, it's not difficult. You can put stickers on. It's really simple. If you like doing that, then that's great. But for me, I like the physical tearing of the washi tape and the sticking of it down. And, you know, that's meditative for me. And I've said it over and over and over again. For me, journaling is my meditation. Some people sit and do yoga. Some people, well, I do yoga, but some people do yoga to meditate. Some people run. Some people just sit and do guided visualizations and that. For me, I stick on an audiobook and I journal, because that is how I tune the rest of the world out. Once I've got an audiobook in my head and paper under my hands, I have tuned out the rest of the world, no matter what is going on in my day. It could be the worst day possible and I would still be completely zoned out within 5 minutes of touching paper. It's just the way I've always been. So while I can see me doing, see these pages aren't finished. I can see me doing things like this digitally, although I do love my ballpoint pen sketching, and I will still do my ballpoint pen sketching, I can even see me doing things like this digitally. In fact, I'm reproducing her as a digital image. I will still do some urban sketching in my journal when I happen to be out and about with my journal. But I think more and more I will do my journaling in here, and my everyday thoughts and ideas and writing and pictures and ephemera in here, and put the sketching on the iPad, I wish, on the tablet. Because this I really enjoyed. Not in this format, but the actual creation of it in Autodesk Sketchbook here. This I love, and I will use this a lot, I think. Certainly I'm a convert for urban sketching, at least until the winter hits and the cold weather starts to sap my battery. I'm certainly going to try and upgrade. I've got my eye on one of the new iPads, what I call the student versions. They're aimed at the student market. They're an iPad that is compatible with Apple Pencil, but it's not a Pro. I don't feel that I need a Pro because I'm not a digital artist. I'm an artist who enjoys sketching digitally. There is a difference. I'm never going to be doing huge, highly detailed digital things on here. You know, that's just not me. If I want to do something highly detailed, I'm a pen and paper girl. But for this kind of sketching, and you know, I'm doing some Christmas card designs and stuff like that for a couple of charities, definitely this is the way to go for me. I love it. No more scanning and editing colours and all that crap. I only need to do that on my actual proper works of art instead of on my sketches, which I love. The new iPad 6th generation with the Apple Pencil. Yeah, that's what I want. It's the 9.7 2018, I believe it is, the 6th gen. That's the one I've got my eye on, because the 10-inch iPad Pro which is the next one, is like 600 something, 500 and something, plus the Apple Pencil. Whereas the 9.7, which is about this size, it's only a little bit smaller. The screen actually is bigger than this, and I think the tablet itself is about the size of this screen, but you've got less real estate around the edge of the screen. So you don't have this 1-inch border everywhere. Although I have to say this 1-inch border is quite handy for resting your hand on. But I think the 9.7 will do me. It's not high powered, but I don't really feel I need high powered, and it's half the price. It's £320 locally, and that's at the full retail price that it's come out at. Give it another 6 months and it will probably be less. So I'm looking at about maybe £450 by the time I get the 9.7, the Apple Pencil, and pay for the apps, because Apple makes you pay for apps, because if you can afford an expensive tablet, obviously you can afford to pay for apps as well. Don't even get me started on that. $329, yeah, it's about the same. Don't forget it came out in Europe before it came out over here, so we're still on the original rate. I don't think it will be very long before you can start getting second-hand ones as well. And I may, once I've saved up enough to be able to buy one, I may start looking for a second-hand 10.5 Pro. See if there's one where somebody's upgraded to the new ones, because I think the new 10.5s are coming out soon, aren't they? The 2018 10.5s are due in September, I believe. So yeah, patrons, that's what we're working towards next. We're saving up for an iPad. Then I'll be able to sell my MacBook, and I'll keep this for what I was originally using it for, which is, you know, just YouTube and the other bits and pieces that it can handle, reading and things. I basically use it like a Kindle. Although it's working remarkably well since I did the jailbreak on it, so I'm pretty happy. So I don't know whether to... I'm missing my journaling, so I think I've proved that I could do all digital if I wanted to, but I intensely don't want to do digital journaling. So I'm going to continue with my digital planning and my digital sketching. I've actually got a digital sketching project I want to work on. I've got a couple of Christmas projects that I need to work on. And as of today, I'm going back to my baby. Nothing beats the feel of this. This feeling. And if you know and love that feeling, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't get it, then I can't help you. This feeling of having a book in your hand is second to none. I'm a paper lover. So as of today, I'm back to proper journaling because I really don't feel like I've done that much journaling in July. And I think part of the reason is not because I found digital journaling difficult, but because I just didn't want to do it. I could do it, but, you know, an awful lot of my sketchbook or my journal, I did the first week, I stuck to it for a week, so I did give it a good go. So we've got the first, the second, the third, and so on. You know, I really did give it a good shot. I didn't just, you know, throw it in the corner and a huff after 5 minutes. Come on. That's something I wanted to comment on, actually. Somebody left a comment on one of my previous videos about, I paraphrase, but basically she said, I don't think I'd have the patience for digital anything because it takes so long to do anything. You seem to be sitting there waiting for things to update all the time. That is true. However, my tablet is extremely old. It's on its last legs. It's had a lot of use and it is slow. It's only got 1 gig of RAM. You know, it's old tech. It's 2012, which is 6 years old. In technical terms, that's the equivalent of an iPhone 4. So it's basically obsolete. It doesn't get updates even from the manufacturer anymore. Samsung don't even update it anymore. So while it does appear that I spend a lot of time waiting for things to update, that's my tablet. It's not necessarily the general thing of using a digital thing. So if you're thinking that that is the only thing holding you back from trying it, then I would say go to an electrical store, try the tablets. You know, don't just say, oh, I'm going to try the iPad and see how that goes. Try the different tablets that they have available. You know, there's Surface 3s, which basically replace your laptop. You know, there's all sorts of things. There's the Lenovo one, which also comes apart. It's a laptop that comes apart. So you can use it as a screen, or you can use it as a laptop. There's lots of different options. Don't just assume that because I'm sitting here waiting for mine to update all the time, that you would get impatient with it. You might get impatient with it till you got the hang of it, and it might take you a week or so to get used to. But, you know, it shouldn't be any more slow or difficult to use than your phone or your computer or whatever. And if your phone or computer or whatever is really slow, then it's probably just really old. If you're not willing to upgrade, then of course you're going to have problems with waiting for things to upload and waiting for things to, you know, catch up with you. That's, you know, you've got to decide whether you're willing to fork out the money for having it instant, or whether you are happy to just wait and say, well, okay, it's going to take a second, just give it a minute. If you really can't do either, then perhaps paper is where you should be. So I just want to add that in there. You know, don't go from my experience of using my tablet, because my tablet is old and slow. Journaling is a personal experience. Touch, sound, sticking things down are all part of that. Yes, exactly. In the same way that some people like the haptic feedback when they're writing, you can have haptic feedback, so when you're writing it actually sounds like you're using paper. Oh my god, it's like ASMR for me. I was like, no, stop it. I don't want to hear that noise. Anyway, as I was saying, you can see when I got to week 2, I stopped journaling, basically. I was still putting things in, but I was at that stage where I was basically just putting my sketches in. Around here, I just started putting my sketches in, and then I was like, well, why the hell am I even doing that? I don't really want to. So I stopped. So I'm going to print these and transfer them into here so that I still have July's journaling, such as I did it, and then I'm just going to delete this. I don't really want to keep it. I don't feel the need. I'm just going to keep my sketches in the gallery. I've actually uploaded them to my online photos so that I've just got an album in here that's got all my sketches in. Digital sketchbook. For me, this is a much more user-friendly way of looking at sketches, or showing people what you've been doing, showing before and afters. It's easier to I can print from here, I can share it from here, I can do anything I want with it from here. And if I want to print it out and put it in my journal, I can print it out and put it in my journal. So yeah, that's definitely my takeaway from this week, is journaling's not cutting it for me, but I love sketching and I love planning digitally, so I'm going to stick with those two. Interestingly, that's the opposite of Vicky, because Vicky absolutely hated doing the planning, but she's enjoying doing some of the journaling and note-taking. So, whereas I'm planning and notes. So that's an interesting thing I found. Anything else? Anything else? Any questions? Digital scrapbooks. Yeah, I like digital scrapbooks. I would rather do digital scrapping than... In fact, I swapped to digital scrapbooking in about 2004, and I did it for several years before I just said, well, this is pointless, I'm doing it in my journal anyway. I'd rather keep a journal and have lots of rows of notebooks than faff around with 12 by 12 albums and stuff like that. I can't be bothered. So, yeah, as of this evening, in fact, as soon as I've been out and got some dog food and some... Oh, did we say dog food? Her face, sure. The ears went up. Yeah, once I've got some paper, I'm going to be back to my... I've had a few questions about this nice, thick, beautiful journal. It's really cheap. It's a Royal Langnickel 8.5 by 8 by 5.5, I think the size is. It's A5. The paper does not like watercolour, but it does like acrylic without gesso. It does like ballpoint pen, and it does like cartridge pen. Obviously, Copics, it's not going to use markers. No, nothing likes markers. Even marker paper doesn't like markers. So, yeah, I will be getting out my glue stick and pens and getting back to my journal tonight. But my planning, I'm sticking with digital. This I like. And also for note-taking. There's nothing quite like being able to scribble down notes and then, like, for instance, let me just... Ugh, come on, stop updating. You don't need to update. You've got all your updates. What have I got in here? I've got some here. I think that one I haven't rewritten. I like to take my notes scribbled and then rewrite them so that they make sense. So this is what I start off with. And then once I'm done, it's really easy to just say, okay, let's cut that and put it on another page for now. Let's concentrate on this bit. I'll deal with that bit in a minute. Let's draw this diagram first. So move that down the bottom of the page. Here's the diagram that I need. There's my title. Let's put that back up there. Okay, so this I need to redraw. Let's make it a bit bigger because I can't actually see what I'm doing. Oops. And then you can, straight away, you can start setting it up how you want it to be and make it look better. I always rewrite notes. I've done that since I was a kid. I take notes longhand, really scribbly. They make no sense to anybody but me. And then when I get home, I pretty them up with my colour coding and my reorganising and my cross-referencing and everything else that I do with notes so that I remember it. Because if I just write it once, I'm never going to remember it. So that I love. And as you can see, obviously, from that set of notes, once I finish them, they look really good. And it doesn't take any longer to do it on here than it does to rewrite them on paper, because frankly, for the amount of times I spend going, where's my squared paper? Where's my highlighter? Can't find my ruler. Can't find this. Can't find that. What pen was I using for this colour? It's easier to just do it this way. If I forget what colour it is, I can just colour sample it and go, oh, it's that blue. I'll use that blue again. So, yeah, notes. It's a revelation for notes. I'm loving it. That's this. That's all I've got for you today. I'm going to go and buy some more paper so I can finish printing. I'm pretty sure I've figured out how to print from here. Once I have, I will make sure I write some notes for my patrons so that you guys know how to do it, because I know a lot of you are using the same program. And then I'm going to get my ballpoint pen out and start journaling again. I'm so excited. I can't wait. My baby. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you again Friday. Friday? Yes, Friday, for another update. The last weekly update. So a roundup of week 4 and what's been happening with that. Bye.